What do you think happened on January 6th? And what should Republicans say about it and do about it going forward?
Yeah, that's an easy one for me to call. It was, off. What do you want me off? it was terrible. It was an insurrection. It was violent. It should be, we should have done a bicameral bipartisan committee in the first place. So I would have, I just Monday morning quarterbacked a guy. I believe it was a travesty. Trump is to blame. He should be held accountable for it, at least politically speaking. And the last thing we should do is try and whitewash it. We should castigate it. We should call it for what it was. Say it should never happen again. Make sure that you've made adjustments in security and things like that to make sure it never happens again, and condemn the heck out of it.
Wow, Paul Ryan, still a Republican. I was going to say former Republican, but former elected official there, actually saying some words about Donald Trump and his culpability with January 6th. You can imagine what Trump said in response, which we'll get to in a second. But this may have been what really triggered him, because he was talking to local news about the possibility of Donald Trump winning the nomination as he runs for president again. And this is what he said. A WISN reporter asked Ryan, for the Republican convention in Milwaukee, where will you be? He said it depends on who the nominee is. I'll be here if it's somebody not named Trump. I'm not interested in participating in that. No, not even. Even in Wisconsin, he added. Of course, Wisconsin, where he's from, he won't even be at the RNC in his home state if it's Donald Trump headlining the whole thing. He also said more things, though. He also told Fox News 6 in Milwaukee last week, if we nominate Trump again, we're gonna lose. It's just that clear. We lost with him in 18, 20, and 22. We know this. He will cost us another election. So I'm just excited about somebody not named Trump. These are things that these few Republican candidates have come out not saying when they go on Sean Hannity's show and other conservative networks. They'll say, well, I'm not running against Donald Trump. I'm just running next to him, hoping that he'll grace me with enough positivity that I can maybe take ahead and then maybe do the same things that he was doing. That's their, so far, those are their slogans and apparently their agenda items when they run for president. But Paul Ryan made this very serious mistake of saying something negative. So Donald Trump took to Truth Social and said this: Paul Ryan is a loser. Oh, that'll hit him. Mitt Romney could have won without him. I won twice. Did much better the second time and was 233 wins out of 253 races in the midterms. Paul Ryan is destroying Fox and couldn't get elected dogcatcher in the Republican Party. Again, the dogcatcher line is from like 1948. So yeah, we get it. He couldn't get elected dog catcher because we see dog catchers running around still, around in our cities. Still, the anger is there. He's mad. Nobody can say anything bad about Donald Trump, especially Paul Ryan's ass. He's still upset about these whole things. And there's one other part though. Paul Ryan wants to point out all the rest of those Republicans that don't know how to detach themselves from Donald Trump's ass. And he pointed that out too with the rhino talk.
What rhino means today is it's a pure fealty index to Trump. So if you have low fealty to Donald Trump, you're a rhino. If you have pure great fealty to Donald Trump, you're a perfect Republican. That's kind of what's happened. And so we have gone from measuring people based on their philosophy or even their temperament to like a fealty index. That to me is very wrong and dangerous. But there's a lot of people. So what they did, what the Trump crowd did, was they went after all of these people. Liz is just the one everybody knows about, but there's about 6 or 7 others who either just didn't run again because they didn't want to deal with it, or they got beat. And that to me is a very bad trend.
Burbank, I've seen this story before. I've seen it back in 2015. Many folks in the Republican Party were like, F Donald Trump, he's crazy. No one's gonna follow and back this guy. You see the things he's saying, he doesn't know how to be a real leader. And then they fell right in line. Paul Ryan is still on that train, but are enough Republicans on that train?
I love that he said dog catcher, but there's a weird trend of like people in the Republican Party talking like they're from a wild Western movie. Like on the House floor, that one senator said cantankerous. And then you have Trump saying he couldn't get elected as dog catcher, Paul Ryan. It's like in this here town, that man couldn't even get elected as dog catcher. Come on, buddy. Like he will do anything except have a policy platform. And really, that's why the term rhino is problematic, is because it doesn't represent a policy platform, a set of values, what you'd run on. It's just, do you or do you not support this one man? That is a slippery slope into authoritarianism. However, people like Paul Ryan, I think are tough figures for people to take seriously in America. There's increasingly a resentment of people who go around in fancy suits and are always at these nice conferences and have made a career out of politics. When 64% of Americans are, working and living paycheck to paycheck, it makes it really difficult for them to look up to the political class and take anybody seriously. And that was part of the appeal of Trump. And I think if the Republican Party really wants a future that is not this slippery slope into authoritarianism and fascism, they need to run somebody that connects with the working class. And I don't think they're gonna be able to find somebody, because it's like the jig is up. We know that Republicans are people who sell out to corporations and run our government in a manner that allows them to profit at the expense of people.
It's a matter of whether or not enough people have seen that yet, because I think it's pretty obvious, as you pointed out. But then again, they have to believe that or see the effect on their lives, because they keep seeing these things they boast about: the lack of regulation, how they're tamping down on people's rights. But they figure it's just those libs' rights. It's just those libs' lives that are being tampered with, not ours. I don't know. One day it's going to happen.